When you're talking about mental health with kids, it really is important to name the emotions and to figure out exactly how they feel. Kids, depending on their age, have lots of code words for emotions. They'll say, I just don't feel good, I feel funky. And you go, okay, you feel funky. But what does that mean? You feel upset, you feel lonely, you feel depressed. So we try and dig down to what the true emotion is. It helps them increase their emotional vocabulary. We also say you name it to tame it. In order to do something about it, in order to respond, it is helpful to actually know what we're dealing with and to name the emotion.
When talking about mental health with your kids, I think it's really important just to normalize the conversation. So make it a part of your daily conversations and not to feel like an interrogation, like what's wrong? Why are you upset? What happened? But just a part of your day-to-day conversation. So maybe on the way to school, asking questions like, what gives you hope today? Or what makes you feel a little bit nervous about today? Do you have goals for the day? What is your day gonna look like today? Just listening and really being tuned into what your kid's saying. And then at night, maybe around the dinner table or as you're getting ready for bed, things like, what was the best part of your day today? Maybe what part wasn't the best? What can we do to support you through this? To model resilience for your children, I think can start with just a simple empathetic statement. I hear you, that sounds so hard. Or I hear you, that must have been a challenging part of your day. And then maybe working through what that looks like on resolving. If it was something that gave them anxiety, how did you handle that? What did that look like for you? So tomorrow, maybe you can ask your teacher about that test that was bothering you. Maybe you can have an opportunity to retake it. Or if it's an issue with another peer, maybe role-playing with them on a solution and how they could work through the problem the next day.
It's okay to not be okay, and I think that is big for people to acknowledge that. And you just really need to be real with your kids, and you need to check in with them, whether that's at the dinner table at night or at nighttime, and don't always accept like everything's okay, everything's fine, I don't know, the typical teenage responses. Dig in a little bit with them and ask some more probing questions with them. How are you really doing? And how is your friendships going at school? And how are your classes going? Just be real with your kids and really acknowledging it's okay at times to not be okay, and then what do you do when you're not okay?
Signs and symptoms of possible suicidal concerns or risks would be things like change in demeanor, a noticeable change. So if you're noticing that your kid is maybe more of an upbeat type of kiddo and they're seeming more upset or down lately, that would be a concern. Or if it's the other way around, maybe they're not a super upbeat, euphoric type kid and you're noticing those things, that could be a sign. Alongside of things is like an explicit threat, which would be things like, I don't want to live anymore. Or something more veiled, like what if I didn't wake up tomorrow? What would the world be like? If you're hearing things like that from a kid, that's pretty concerning, along with maybe things that they've written, or you might see a variety of things that could lead to a concern about suicidal ideation. If you have those concerns, it is important that you go to your doctor, or if it's a real immediate concern, you go to the ER and get some help for your child.
Some people think if they ask the suicide question directly, they're planting a seed in someone's mind that they weren't thinking about it and now suddenly they are. And the research is very clear that that's not true, that asking the question reduces risk of suicide. It lets a person know that there's someone there who cares enough to ask a really hard question and can handle the answer. And the child gets to release this very challenging or terrible secret they've been holding. If you're really worried that your child's not okay, that's important to recognize. What you should do is seek help. If you're feeling stuck, the first thing is to talk to your child and help try and figure out what's going on. But if you've tried that and you feel stuck, you're not sure where to go, then ask for help with neighbors, friends, and really probably a professional if you're really feeling stuck. They can help you sort it out and come up with an intervention that hopefully can help you.
That's going to be hard for you.
Next steps if things aren't going good is really situational, right? Each family and each kiddo is a little different. But if you sense that maybe you don't have the answers as a parent, and we don't have all the answer, right? Parenting is the hardest job that we do in life. And if you need help, and sometimes it's just reaching out to the school and calling that trusted adult that you have at the school, whether that's the counselor or the administrator, maybe a teacher that your student's really connected with, and just saying, hey, I sense something might be off a little bit. Are you noticing things at school? Are we just seeing it at home? And really just getting on the same page to see maybe if they really are okay at school or at home, and just working as a team to ask those questions.
If you or someone you love need to talk to someone right away for confidential support, call the Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK.
To promote resilience and hope in your children, it's important to recognize when they are having moments maybe of anxiety or stress, and knowing that that is part of life and helping them work through that. So if it's anxiety about a test or something going on at school, working through what a solution would look like, or skills on working around that. Because that's where resilience is developed, is helping them through that. We can't take it away from them, but we can help them through it.
Well, it sounds like you had an awesome day.
I did.
Production of this program was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention through the Idaho Resilience Project. Additional funding has been provided by the Friends of Idaho Public Television Endowment.